It's Sunday, February the 11th, and it's time for the Nerd Week in Review, what's going on in the world of movies, and of course, our comic book picks of the week. If you're new to the show, welcome. This is Chuckload of Comics. Hello and welcome to Chuckload of Comics, coming to you live from our studios here in beautiful, sunny Chicago, Illinois.
That's
where
funny.
we're under a weather advisory. It's freezing cold in Chicago right now.
Yeah, we had like 10 inches of snow yesterday. They said it was like 9 days of snowfall, and that's the longest amount of time we've had snowfall in like ages.
We are knee deep in snow, so if you're not in Chicago, consider yourself lucky. So, welcome to Chuckload of Comics. We come to you every single Sunday. We talk about, like I said before, the week in review of all the nerdy news, what's going on in the world of movies, and of course, our comic book reviews, our favorite picks of the week for comic books. So, without further ado, this is a little segment we like to call Sunday Morning Movie Talk.
Movie Talk.
Sunday Morning Movie Talk. Okay, tons happened in the world of movies this week. Is the word for the week, of course, is trailers.
No kidding.
Ever since the Super Bowl dropped, we have just been inundated with some amazing movie trailers. Some of the stuff that happened this week, we got our first look at the Han Solo movie. We got the trailer for Han Solo, finally. On Netflix, Cloverfield Paradox dropped. That was really a bombshell that dropped right after the Super Bowl. The Game of Thrones creators signed on for a new Star Wars trilogy of films. There's going to be a new Star Wars series, a series of films with the Game of Thrones, Benioff and Weiss.
Right?
Creators of Game of Thrones on HBO. We're going to do a Star Wars trilogy. We got our first Deadpool 2 teaser trailer. Well, I wouldn't say our first. We did get that cool Bob Ross Deadpool trailer that came out, but this was a really good teaser trailer that dropped. We got our first look at Cable and the whole crew. X-Force was in it. Tons of people were in it. And, of course, the Venom teaser trailer.
Also very cool.
Wasn't expecting that this week at all. So,
came out of left field.
Tons of cool stuff in the world of movies that came out this week. Shauna, what of that list, anything jump out at you? Really knocked your socks off.
I mean,
this
everything
week?
knocked my socks off, but the coolest thing was all the trailers that we got from the Super Bowl. I mean, we watched the Super Bowl, not just for the game, but for the commercials and everything else. We knew the Han Solo trailer. Well, we heard the Han Solo trailer was going to be in there. But then to our surprise, there was a new Infinity trailer. There was the Mission Impossible trailer. There was
a really decent Jurassic World trailer that dropped. We got our first
like Jurassic World and
we got our first look at the Westworld season 2.
Yeah.
That trailer dropped. A lot of cool stuff dropped in the Super Bowl.
And like you said, the Cloverfield. You got the Cloverfield Paradox trailer that then told you that the entire movie was going to be available after the Super Bowl on Netflix. It's like, what? Mind blown.
Yeah.
That was...
Did you guys see Cloverfield Paradox? Leave us a comment in the section down below.
Yeah.
Let us know what you thought about it. Shauna, what did you think about Cloverfield Paradox?
I thought it was great. I mean, I get what people are saying. It's like kind of they put a lot into the movie and try to play on a lot of different storylines, but I liked it. I thought it was cool.
I had a good time watching it. It wasn't what I wanted from Cloverfield 3. They were promising that it was going to kind of explain a lot of, where these monsters came from and why the world was so fucked in Cloverfield 2, which was 10 Cloverfield Lane. If you didn't see the John Goodman movie, that movie was great.
Awesome.
So, I mean, compared to the first two movies, I don't think it was nearly as good. But it was a fun watch.
Yeah.
Check it out. I mean, it's free on Netflix. That was just such a bombshell in the Super Bowl when they were like,
I know.
because it was supposed to have a theatrical release. If you didn't know that, they just didn't have it slated. Paramount didn't say when they were going to release it. They were in talks of maybe releasing it on Netflix, and then bam, Super Bowl Sunday it said, "Here's your promo." And I was waiting for a release date, and it just said streaming right after the Super Bowl.
I know.
Blew me away.
Back to your first question on what was most interesting to me, I guess I'd have to say that. I mean, that opens up a world of opportunity for Netflix to buy these movies that should have been premiered in the theaters, but it's gonna be like, nope, bam, they're instantly available to you.
That's cool. I mean, is Netflix gonna become a dumping ground for studios who don't think they can recoup their money with theatrical releases? Is that the wave of the future? Is Netflix gonna be the dumping ground for studios like Paramount and Warner Brothers? They do save a lot of money that way because they don't have to do any of the marketing. They dump it all on Netflix. They immediately recoup their production budget. Because back in the day, if you knew you made a shitty movie, the only thing you could do to even remotely recoup your money is to release it in theaters and just keep your fingers crossed and hope that you make your money back. Now they can just go to Netflix and Netflix will sign you a check.
Sell it for,
cut your losses and let Netflix stream it. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if
still want theaters to exist. I still want to see movies in theaters, so don't want that to go away. But
it is kind of a scary sign of the times that theatrical films are just going to start streaming at home. Hopefully that's not the death of the movie-going experience. I don't think it will be, but if you haven't checked out Cloverfield Paradox, it's a fun watch. It's not a great movie, but you'll have fun watching it, I think.
I liked it.
I liked it, but it just, it wasn't as emotionally gripping as the first two movies, I think.
How about you, Chuck? What the heck did you think out of all this insane movie stuff that dropped?
All of it. I want to talk about Deadpool. I want to talk about Venom. I want to talk about Game of Thrones doing Star Wars. But the thing that really knocked my socks off, of course, was Han's Solo trailer.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
That dropped. They actually gave us 2 trailers. Yep. And it wasn't just like I was expecting a teaser trailer in the Super Bowl, and I was going to expect an extended version of the exact same trailer that aired the next day in Good Morning America, but it wasn't that. It was like a whole new trailer. Yeah. It was like 2 very independent trailers. If I'm being honest, I actually preferred the Super Bowl teaser to the one that aired the next day. Something about it. If you haven't seen the Solo Super Bowl trailer, check it out. It shows Han Solo. He's almost interviewing for a job with the Empire to be a pilot, which is just so... It was just really cool, the way that one was put together.
It was cool. And you had to watch it twice to even catch that was the Millennium Falcon. Like, you're like, oh my god, that's a clean Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the clean Millennium Falcon, something else that dropped, speaking of Han Solo, is Entertainment Weekly released their Han Solo issue that came out this week, and there's a ton of new cool photos.
Very cool photos.
That dropped. Some set photos, some production photos. We're going to take a look at some of those right now. Let's just pull up a few. Sorry, I'm getting all technical on you. This first one's kind of neat. This is the Mud Troopers.
Yeah, that's cool.
The Mud Troopers. We've seen Snow Troopers. We've seen, obviously, Storm Troopers and Flame Troopers and Sand Troopers and all these. Well, these are the Mud Troopers.
How do you get all this information?
Me personally?
Yeah.
I absorbed this shit.
This is great, but I would have never known that.
So these are the Mud Troopers. You see them right here. They're very muddy, covered in all things mud.
Hence the name.
You do see the really cool protocol, the droid that you saw in Jabba's palace. The dude, or no, these are the droid. I don't know enough about the droid, but it's very familiar looking droid. Speaking of droids, I love this photo. This photo right here. This is the new droid that's gonna be in Han Solo. You see Lando Calrissian, played by Donald Glover, talking to this droid, having a really fun little experience. This is gonna be the K2SO of the Solo movie.
He's got a little bit of resemblance to like Johnny Five. I mean, I know not.
He does look like Johnny Five.
He's kind of got that skinny neck and the flat head, you know.
Like if Johnny Five and like a toilet seat and R2D2 had a kid, it would look like this droid. But the fact that they're just kind of giving each other a little nod just looks like that droid's going to be a ton of fun. Speaking of Lando, who you saw in that last shot, this.
That's fantastic.
I love everything we've seen from Lando Calrissian, both in the trailer when he's wearing the big fur coat. It's probably made of a dead Wookiee or a tauntaun or something. That was a very pimp shot of Donald Glover wearing his fur coat. But this shot right here, this is incredible.
Scene stealer.
This is the shot I think everybody wanted to see, the Sabacc card game that they're playing. This could be the game where Lando loses the Millennium Falcon to Han Solo, which you saw teased in The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I guess the ship used to be Lando's, and he lost it in a game, a Sabacc game to Han Solo. Not only does Donald Glover just look awesome in this photo, but look at the practical effects creatures. This is very much like a cantina scene.
Yep.
This little double-headed squid monster I love. He looks like he's going to be a puppet, which is great. The guys in the background all look like they're wearing full-on makeup and costumes.
Yep.
And of course, Donald Glover as Lando, just looking pimp as hell with the collar popped and
I know.
just looking so badass. I cannot wait. It might be sacrilegious to say, but I would almost prefer to see Lando a Star Wars story than Han Solo a Star Wars story. The problem is once you do this story, you've kind of ruined doing a future Lando movie.
Do you think?
This is the Lando story.
I don't know. We'll see where they go with it. I disagree with you. I see them. If Donald Glover kills it, which I'm sure he will, I don't see why they wouldn't potentially make a Lando story.
I don't see any way that Alden Ehrenreich is going to hold a candle to Donald Glover's character in this movie, man.
I know.
This is the Donald Glover movie. This is the Lando movie, I swear to God. Or I'm hoping it is anyway. I hope he has a massive presence in the film.
Then we get another one.
A lot of other really cool ones. This shot of them, it's Han and Chewie on the back of that train that we saw in the teaser trailer. Again, what kind of fur coat is Han wearing? It should be in very poor taste for him to be wearing a Wookiee coat while alongside a Wookiee. If you look really closely at Chewie, his bandolier is actually full of little grenades. You never see him having things in his bandolier. Well, here he's like rocking these crazy grenades.
Chewie never ages.
Chewie just gets younger every movie. It's probably because the movies start going back in time.
Prequels. But you would think by now Chewie would have some gray hairs or something.
Well, this is a prequel, so...
No, I know, but I mean like...
In Force Awakens
and Return of the Last Jedi, I think you would have
Chewie
some gray
ages
hairs.
very, very well. Speaking of aging very, very well, a look at Emilia Clarke, who's going to play a character. I think her name is Kira, but she's, in the movie. Obviously, you know her from Game of Thrones. That looks kind of cool. I'm hoping they have a really good relationship. I don't know what her role is in the film.
That'll be fun though. She's awesome.
The shot that really makes this is the money shot right here. This is the clean Millennium Falcon that Shauna talked about.
Yeah.
And it's
so pristine.
Woody Harrelson's character, obviously Alden Ehrenreich talking with Woody Harrelson, and Chewie sitting there at the table. This is when you do a side by side.
I know, this is nuts.
Of a fresh, clean Millennium Falcon next to the first shot of Millennium Falcon we saw in A New Hope, where all the panels are taken off of the wall.
Yeah.
All the white is just gritty and dirty. Everything just looks gross.
Seat cushions are gone.
Seat cushions are gone. The panels are gone because they've just had to pull all the panels down just to keep the thing in the air for so many years. And obviously Han Solo said in New Hope, that he's made a few modifications to it himself. You never really realize, when Luke says in A New Hope, "What a piece of junk," you think, hey, screw you, Luke, quit being such a...
I know.
It's a ship. But then now when you look at them side by side, like, this is what a freaking freighter is supposed to look like, and this is the one he actually walks into. It is a piece of junk. It's supposed to be all nice and clean like that. And, of course, when you first see it, it's just the panels are gone. It's all rusty and gross and greasy. So I love these pictures.
I know.
Google search some of the cool pictures from Han Solo. I really like the trailer. I loved the first teaser trailer a little bit more than the second one, but... Again, you saw some amazing imagery.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get more excited about this film than I was, 6 months ago.
Like, I think you said exactly after seeing it, because you don't know what to expect, and it's like, really? They're pumping out the Star Wars movies left and right, and you're like, we just got off the Last Jedi high, and now here's Han Solo already, so we don't have big expectations and all the reshoots and everything. But seeing those trailers, you're back up here. You're like, all right, give it to us.
I'm excited. Now, big question. The big missing link of the whole thing is, can Alden Ehrenreich pull off a Han Solo? Can we believe him as Harrison Ford's Han Solo?
I don't know.
Fingers crossed. He's the make or break of the whole film.
I don't know.
So that's it. Obviously, the Deadpool teaser trailer was fantastic.
I know. God bless you, Ryan Reynolds, for bringing that franchise to
Ryan
the
Reynolds.
film.
Josh Brolin looks fantastic
Yes.
as Cable. It's a funny trailer. We'll put a link to it down at the bottom.
Yeah.
Check it out. And expect another full trailer for Deadpool 2 coming out pretty soon, I think.
Which they moved the release date up, which is kind of unheard of.
Yeah, from June to May. The Venom trailer was great.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't see the Venom teaser, it really is a teaser trailer. But of course, you hear Tom Hardy speak.
Yeah.
He's playing Eddie Brock, obviously, who becomes Venom. You see a crash-landed, it's got to be a spaceship where maybe the Venom symbiote came from.
Yeah.
You get to see Michelle Williams as Annie Wang.
That's cool.
Who is Eddie Brock's ex-wife, who becomes She-Venom in the comics. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Nope.
But so you get to see her. So it's a short teaser trailer, but the Venom trailer.
It was really good.
I was not expecting that. I was expecting a Deadpool trailer this week.
Yeah.
I really was, because we're so close to the release date. But I was not expecting a Venom teaser at all.
I think the Venom teaser was my favorite out of all of them, honestly. I was just it took me by surprise.
Yeah.
It's like,
It just looks like a dark movie. So watch that trailer if you haven't seen it yet. It's a really dark trailer.
Super cool.
And I'm pretty excited about it. So that's your movie news. That's your Sunday morning movie talk. Again, we do this every single week. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please click that subscribe button. Join us here every Sunday. So moving on to our favorite comic book picks. This is a comic book show. We try to break. This was a big week in comics. A lot of amazing books. We had a hard time narrowing it down to the 4 that we loved the most, because every book in our pull list this week was fantastic.
I know. Really good.
So before we get into our polls, we had a special guest here, the president and CEO, the founder of 2G1 Reviews. You know them from YouTube. They've been on our show before. Ryan McClelland of 2G1 Reviews. He sent us some of his picks, some of his polls. This guy's YouTube channel is amazing. If you haven't seen it, we're going to put a link down in the description. Go to 2G1 Reviews on YouTube and 2G1reviews.com. Click that subscribe button on his channel because you want to see his content. He does amazing movie reviews, talks about comic books all day long. Here he is.
He knows people.
And he knows people. He actually talks to celebrities and stars. We just talk to ourselves and the cat. Ryan's over there talking to movie stars. So go to 2G1 Reviews on YouTube and 2G1reviews.com. So without further ado, this is Ryan's comic book picks of the week.
Hey, Chuck Little Comics fans, Ryan from 2G1, and today we're looking at comic books from New Comic Book Day, February 7th, 2018. Ooh, sparkly. Savage Dragon issue 231 continues the adventures of Malcolm Dragon and his family, who now live in Canada. Sure, there are still super freaks there, but for Malcolm it's mostly marriage and kids, with some occasional bad guys beating the pants off of him. The story switches back and forth with longtime Savage Dragon characters Angel and Alex Wilde as they roam Dimension X with no hope of escaping. Eric Larson's art still looks fantastic as always, but be prepared for a lot of nudity, sex, violence, and cursing. This book is truly meant for adults. This is not your mama's Savage Dragon. Issue number 231 lands a B+. I thought X-Men Red #1 looked promising, a new team led by Jean Grey, which also includes Nightcrawler, Wolverine, Honey Badger, and Namor. Okay, Namor. There's some saving of regular people that just seemed a bit, what are the X-Men really doing in this neighborhood? But the issue finally gets to its purpose, which is Jean Grey trying to make all mutants equals in the eyes of the world. There's some shock factor to the comic, especially when the villain is revealed. I would have loved the Liefeld cover, but I don't have 70 beans to pick it up. Decent overall, but didn't blow me away. But I really liked X-Men Gold issue 21 much more, as Kitty Pryde and her team that includes Storm, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Prestige, and Old Man Logan take on bad guy Mesmero and his minions. The issue spends a ton of time setting up Mesmero's story, but doesn't neglect the X-Men story. There's a great balance of both plots, which comes together amazingly when the teams fight. I never was a big fan of Mesmero, but writer Mark Guggenheim did a great job drawing me in. Throw in a Mike Deodato cover and I'm happy. X-Men Red #1 slides in with a B-, while X-Men Gold issue 21 hammers in with a solid A. Green Lanterns #40 is my first issue of the series, and I had fun with the issue. It is the start of a run titled Superhuman Trafficking, and deals with a superhero dating app and disappearing superheroes. What's the connection? The Green Lanterns are here to find out. Now, Tim Seeley's story is fun. It really comes off Brian Michael Bendon-esque, like something you would read over in Powers. I thought the plot to be catchy and really fun. As this is my first issue, I'm not familiar with this lady Green Lantern named Cruz, or weird visor masked Green Lantern named Simon, but I'm looking forward to further adventures in subsequent issues. Green Lanterns #40 also lands an A. And those are my favorite new comics from New Comic Book Day, February 7th. This is Ryan from 2G1. Catch us at 2G1reviews.com, and maybe we'll be back next week with more of our favorites. Back to Chuck and Shauna.
All right, thanks a lot, Ryan. Fantastic video as always.
I know.
Again, before we get into our comic book picks of the week, I just want to really stress, go to 2G1 Reviews. The guy's videos are amazing. Go to his YouTube channel, hit his subscribe button, join his comic book and movie family.
You're just so likable, Ryan.
He's a nice guy. He talks better than we do.
Personality.
So moving on to some of our picks. This book right here, The Damned. If you haven't picked up The Damned, if you haven't started reading The Damned, you really, really should. Brian Hurt and Cullen Bunn and Bill Crabtree. This is an incredible book. Basically what it's about, in a nutshell, it takes place in the era of Prohibition in America, you know, the 1920s and stuff, where gangsters rule. But in this book, the gangsters, instead of being the Italian mafioso, they're actually demons who traffic in human souls as opposed to trafficking in guns and alcohol. Mm-hmm. They traffic in human souls. It's an amazing, amazing noir kind of private eye kind of book, full of demons, full of supernatural crazy stuff. The art by Brian Hurt's fantastic. The coloring, Bill Crabtree's great. And of course, who doesn't love Cullen Bunn?
I know. Cullen Bunn, who you know from Harrow County, which we also love.
Harrow County, X-Men Blue. I mean,
Yeah.
Cullen Bunn does so much.
Yep.
In the world of comics. So check out The Damned. It's a fantastic book. They're up to issue, I think this is issue 8.
Mm-hmm.
You can jump right on board with this one. The book just keeps getting better and better and better as they go. Every issue is better than the last. The universe is growing. The characters are becoming more and more complex. They introduced Eddie's brother a couple issues ago. As soon as they introduced Eddie's brother,
He's killing it.
the series has gotten incredible. So definitely check out The Damned. X-Men Red. Mm-hmm. Ryan mentioned X-Men Red. He wasn't super jazzed about it. I was.
It was my favorite book of the week by far. I'm so excited to see Jean Grey back, and they also reference in that book that, you know, she's been gone. She knows she's been dead, and she comes back to this world that she's unfamiliar with, and she wants to fix it. And I just love that, and I don't know. I'm excited.
It feels very X-Men. Like when you see, you know, back in the day, you had the X-Men addressing the United Nations and the World Council. Yep. You know, fighting for mutant rights in a world that doesn't appreciate them, doesn't accept them, no matter how many times they save the world. Humans will never accept mutants, but in this book, it's Jean Grey's back. It's after the Phoenix Resurrection series that came, and she's amassing a new team of mutants to bring mutant rights back to mutants.
Yeah, and so there's lots of mention of the Xavier School for the gifted, or what is it, gifted youngsters, and it's just, like Chuck said, it brings you right back to the old school X-Men. I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see where it goes. I loved how it ended, and it was awesome.
It's number 1. It's got an amazing ending. The ending's fantastic, but everything leading up to the ending's fantastic as well. It's a thick book. You get a lot of meat for your money in X-Men Red number 1. This one over here, I Hate Fairyland is back. Well, our issue's called Fuck Fairyland because that is the variant cover that we've been collecting since issue number 1.
That's what Scotty Young wanted to call it, but of course he said he probably wouldn't sell a lot of copies.
Scotty Young, you know, he does all of the variant covers, the cutesy little variant covers. He's done a few books on his own, but this is his baby right here, is I Hate Fairyland. It's about a little girl named Gertrude who wishes she could live in a magical world called Fairyland, and she gets sucked into Fairyland one day, and then she gets stuck there. This cute girl gets stuck there for almost 40 years. So it's the story of her all grown up and bitter, and just she's this angry 40-year-old in her brain, but she still has the body of a little girl.
Stuck in the body of the 5-6-year-old.
So and she's just a hateful little girl. It's so hilarious. It's such wonderful. If you haven't started reading I Hate Fairyland, it's an absolute must pick up. And this one kicks off a brand new story arc where Gertrude goes to hell. She's been killed, and she has to go to hell, and it's her own personal hell of Fairyland. It's worth your money. It's worth your time. Pick up every issue of I Hate Fairyland. You will not regret it.
Sweet.
Finally on our list, The Infinity Countdown, number 1, Adam Warlock.
Yep. I loved this book because I personally don't really know much about Adam Warlock at all, and I know that I think it was the post-credit sequence from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, right?
1 and 2, yep.
You are introduced to this Adam character. They said, I will call him Adam. And then with Infinity coming up, it's like, where's the Soul Stone? We don't know. And then now they have all this Adam Warlock stuff coming out. So anyway, I want to know about Adam Warlock, and this book told me about Adam Warlock.
Yeah,
so
if you're unfamiliar with the character, this is a great pickup. Our Alexa, for some reason, just commented about Adam Warlock. If you don't know much about the character, pick it up, because there is a big event. There's a big Infinity event it starts with this book, and it's going to run all the way through to July. It picks up on what's going on with the Marvel Legacy book that came out. Remember that came out, and you saw Wolverine with a Infinity Stone. Since then, Infinity Stones are popping back up. They're starting to amass again, and this is going to kick off a giant Infinity event. It's really a fun book. It's really juicy. It's really beefy. You get a lot of meat for your money, as I said before. And again, if you don't know much about Adam Warlock, it gives you a great synopsis of the character. It's got a wonderful cliffhanger ending. You get to see Kang the Conqueror, all kinds of great stuff in Infinity Countdown number 1, Adam Warlock. So those are our 4 picks of the week. It was an amazing week for comic books. It was an amazing week for movies. Tons of great juicy stuff.
Amazing week for space.
Shauna, what do you mean, space?
Oh my gosh, who did not see that Falcon Heavy launch? That was so cool.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to mention it.
No,
That just blew my mind.
I love that. This isn't comic book related, but it certainly
nerdy.
falls in the nerdy spectrum of things.
Watching those 2 boosters land was like, I almost was in tears.
Those 2 boosters
so
landing. Just think about it. They dropped from the stratosphere, fell to Earth,
Yeah,
landed not 50 yards away from each other at the exact same time.
succinct.
Oh my god, it was
The
beautiful.
only reason the main rocket didn't land, the main booster I heard, was because it ran out of propellant.
Oh, it didn't land?
It didn't land. It crashed into the ocean at 300 miles an hour.
Jesus.
But they weren't expecting it to land. It ran out of propellant. It only lit one of the 3 landing things that needed.
so
Anyway,
depressed.
so whatever. No, Elon Musk said he only had a 50% confidence rate in it taking off to begin with.
Yeah.
So it was a huge success.
They were firing 3 rockets at the exact same time,
Yeah.
perfectly synced and strapped to each other.
Yep.
In all honesty, that thing should have just skidded off and run into Disney World, but it didn't. It took off, and it was relatively successful. And now there's a Tesla on its way to Mars.
Go Starman.
Starman on his Tesla, you can check him out online. What I like about it is not landing on Mars, it's going past Mars,
Yeah.
right into the asteroid belt
I know.
with a live feed. I can't wait to see this thing get...
Unfortunately, the batteries died already.
Ah, crap!
They said it would only last for 24
I
hours.
wanted to see this thing get hit by an
know.
asteroid like the Millennium Falcon.
That'd be cool.
That would have been cool. Well, anyway, good for you, Elon Musk. Elon Musk for president in the next cycle, whatever the hell that is.
We'll get American citizenship first, but then.
Then he's our guy. So thanks for watching Chocolate of Comics. Again, we're here every single Sunday giving you the week in review and, of course, our comic book picks of the week and what's going on in the world of movies. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know what you thought of the show this week. Please hit that subscribe button and join us back here every week. Big thanks to 2G1 Reviews,
Yes,
Ryan
thank you.
McClellan. Man, keep on sending us those videos because we want to keep airing them. And that's about it. See you here next week. Have a wonderful week. Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.